In this video, we're going to be using Sebum Gold Lime and the Timeless TI Razor 0.95 blade gap. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And today we're having a luxury shave. And I don't do a lot of these, but I did recently purchase the Sebum Gold Lime. And I'll tell you a little bit about my experience with this as I go on, because it requires some explaining. Anyway, I got this and I paid $65 for 7 ounces. And yes, I know that is expensive. $9.28 on our cost chart there, which is painfully expensive, but this is a luxury product. It's not intended to be your run-of-the-mill product. Even the packaging is luxury. You have this very heavy glass jar, and this label right here is wood, which is really, really awesome. Cork here, big old cork, and there is your soap. The consistency of the soap is about medium. It's not super soft, but it's not hard either. It has a really nice, to me, natural smelling lime scent, about medium high on the scent. We'll show you the ingredients right there, at least a picture of the side of the jar there, which shows you the ingredients. And again, this is intended to be a luxury product. Now, don't tune out, because we're going to do some explaining today as we go, but really nice presentation. Let me give you an example of some soaps that are similar in cost. The Ethos grooming products come in a plastic tub, and they're $36 for 4 ounces. This one is $65 for 7 ounces, so comparable price, but much, much better packaging on this. And the thing about Sebum is he prides himself in using very pure ingredients, or at least, you know, that's what they market, or what he markets his products as. Everything pure, no plastics, nothing toxic or anything like that. So this is what we're going to be using today. Let me set this aside, and then we'll come back and get it started. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back, and today we're going to be using our Timeless titanium razor with the crown handle, and I'm using the Persona 74 vintage blade on its 13th use. Yes, 13, and that is unusual. I normally don't use a blade that long. Okay, let's get into lathering. This is just plain water. Links for the products will be below for you if interested. And I have a fantastic lather today, as you can see there with the Sebum. Now, the last time I used Sebum, I was using a sample that was kindly sent to me, and there wasn't a lot of product, and I had a very bad experience with it. And I actually said during that video, not for me. I did head shave with it. It was not slick, but in retrospect, as you can see by this lather, it's a great sheen on there. I simply did not use enough product. And one of the things I want to say is, over the years, I've made it a point, and this is something that my friend David Gonzalez says, and I agree with him on totally. It's more important to get it right than it is to be right. And in the case of Sebum, that first use, I didn't have enough product. I probably used too much water early on in the lathering process, and I did not achieve a great result. But this time, when I got this soap, and I purchased it from Rick at Sebum, I bought it. I did a head shave with it, and I was like, wow. I had a much better experience. I used a damp brush as the instructions called for, adding a little bit of water at a time, and I had as you can see today, phenomenal result. So sometimes you do have to work to dial the lather in. Now, I used, sometimes when you revisit something, you get the same result. For example, with the Gentleman's Nod soaps, that one is just not for me. I revisit it 2 to 3 times after I have the trouble with it, and still it just wasn't satisfying for me. But this one is quite satisfying. And in that video, you know, I just said, you know, I was very aggravated because this is not an inexpensive product, and I expected a lot, and it was my fault. It's that simple. And when it's your fault, you apologize like a man. So I apologize to Rick. It's more important for me to get it right. And get it right, meaning you humble yourself and you apologize. So I apologize to Rick, and I apologize to folks who are fans of Sebum Gold who were put off by that. It was very simple. I didn't have enough product and not use enough product. And that's the one thing that can really kill your experience, is not using enough product. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. Timeless titanium, another luxury product today. Very efficient razor here, beautiful razor. Anyway, so subsequent to that video, Rick reached out, and you know, he expressed some frustration with it, but he was always fair, and he measured in his response. He didn't, you know, curse me out or call me names, as, you know, some people have done. he simply said, you know, I don't think you got the best out of the product. You should probably try it again at some point. And through our conversations, we were talking about him maybe appearing as a guest on Real Talk. And I said, I really need to use a product first. And so he had some, what he calls extras of lime on his website. And he told me about it and I bought it. And then he also threw in a serum, which I'll talk about later. He threw that one in. I didn't buy it, but he wanted me to commit to using it nightly. And so that's what I'm doing. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But one thing I have to give him credit for, he never came unglued in the face of the criticism. He just said, hey, I don't think you got the best out of it. This is a good product. I believe in my product. You should try it and use more product and follow the instructions. And I have, and I've gotten a much better result. Now, one of the things I want to mention is I did not come into that video I made wanting to dislike sebum. You know, look, my heart is with budget-friendly products. That's what I love because there's something really satisfying about using a great budget product. But that's not the only thing I use, and I've used many high-end products throughout the years. Now, would I say a product like this is, in terms of the actual shave, does it work, 4 times better than Sterling? No, it does not. But that's not where, you're never going to get multiple times improvement over a product, Now, where they hang their hat on this particular product is being good for your skin, being good for the environment, so on and so forth. And I will have to say, I used the product yesterday and did a head shave with it. And I used no witch hazel or nothing else. And I just used the serum, and it did produce a very, very good result. So, I committed to trying it the way it's supposed to be tried, and I was very pleased with the result. Now, I understand that some people are just never going to pay this kind of money for a product. That is entirely okay. But I would caution you in the same way that I caution people about crapping on low-end gear. The only thing that really bothers me in terms of, you don't have to like high-end gear, you don't have to like low-end gear, but if you crap on either one from either side, I don't care for that. In other words, if you're exclusively a premium, user of premium wares, and you're crapping on people who use budget-friendly wares, I don't like that. I think it's wrong. I think it's bad for the hobby. Conversely, if you like budget-friendly products and you're crapping on everyone who uses high-end stuff, I don't like that either. That is not good for the hobby either. There's room for all of those things, in my opinion. And while I love the budget-friendly stuff, and I use a lot of it, and I love it, Sterling is one of my favorite soaps. It's the brand I have the most soap of. I will use something like this from time to time. Treat yourself to a sort of luxury product and sort of just enjoy the experience. I think what luxury products bring is experience. Like you feel good about it. It's nice. It looks good, smells good, performs well. Obviously, if it didn't perform well, just because it came in great packaging would mean nothing. But as you can see, I hope you can see the sheen on that lather. Today, we've gotten an exceptional lather. And it does feel very good on my skin. It's got good scent strength, and so there you have it. And so again, this is one of those times where the only right thing to do is humble yourself and look and say, hey, I got that video wrong. I'll go caveat and point viewers to this video where I've reused it, used enough product, and lathered it in a way that got the best out of it. Again, my experience with Gentleman's Knot a little bit different. I revisited it several times and it was just never satisfying. So that one in the current base is just not a product that's for me. But this one immediately came around when I used more product. And so when you do something like that and you realize that, hey, it's not the product, it's the way it was used, I think it's incumbent on you just to come back and say so and offer an apology, and that's what I'm doing today. That's why I said in the thumbnail, mistakes were made, because This is certainly a good quality soap. It's very expensive. Whether it's worth it to you, only you can decide. I can't say it's worth it or not for you. I can say that this will be a soap that I will enjoy from time to time. You know, just when you want to have a luxury shave, I will keep it and use it and pull it out maybe on those days where I'm using a very fine premium razor like Timeless. Just have a good luxury experience. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself every once in a while. You know, and so I think this is, for me, is what that is, treating myself. And I'm going to use the serum quite a bit just to see where that puts me in terms of how my skin feels. So today, when I finish the shave, there will be no witch hazel and the stuff I normally use. I will use the skin serum. And I remember Nomeo talking about, you know, he really likes this stuff, and a lot of people do, the skin serum. I'm not much on skin elixirs, as you know, but again, I think you have to try to remain open-minded and use the products as designed and see what happens. Sometimes I'm put off by the marketing around skin elixirs, if I'm being honest. You know, some of the claims, and this one doesn't really make a lot of claims beyond, I'm using pure ingredients, you know, I'm being good for the environment. So he's not really claiming that, you know, I'm in my 50s and by the end of this shave, I'm going to look 37. He's not really making that claim, but it is a luxury product, so keep that in mind. And honestly, it's performing very well. And so that's what we do. And I would encourage everyone out there, whether it be in your personal relationships, whatever. I find myself humbling myself and apologizing. I wouldn't say a lot, but it is not abnormal for me to do so. When I've realized I've made a mistake, I just humble myself and apologize. And I encourage everyone else to do so. There's nothing worse than digging your heels in, or someone digging their heels in when they're clearly wrong, and that be about a product or in a relationship or what have you. It doesn't cost you anything to humble yourself and apologize. And in fact, most people will respect that. But I do know people who will just dig their heels in. They refuse to acknowledge any responsibility. And that's unfortunate. And in my world, I don't really have room for people like that. So once I become aware of them, I just, you know, that's it for me. Because for me, relationships and the time I spend with people is very important. And I want to surround myself with good people, you know, that share my values and share my attitude about these sort of things, and who will humble themselves, apologize, realize when they're wrong. And I have done that a number of times. Can't tell you the number of times, even with my wife, I'll go, you know, I'll realize I'm wrong and apologize. And so I encourage everyone to, you know, don't be afraid to get it right versus being right. And I'm so glad that David Gonzalez last year, we were talking about some things and he shared that thought, and I'm like, you know what, you are right. Get it right, not be right. And so today, we're treating ourselves to a phenomenal luxury shave, but we're also making sure we get it right versus being right. Because it would be very easy just to never say another thing again, go on and have that piece of video out there, which potentially harms a brand, but that is not my goal, and it's never something I want to do. Now, I would have revisited that right away, but I didn't have any more product to revisit, and so I would have revisited it even the next day. And so it just so happened, it took quite a bit of time before Rick produced Lime again, and when he did, he reached out to me, I bought it, and the rest is history. And we, again, to say, yeah, this is certainly, my first impression of this product was wrong or off, and I didn't get the best out of it. And it's important to try to get the best out of every product. Now, I will say this, and I do mean this strongly. If I have to jump through hoops to make a lather, I'm not going to like it. And this one, I found I didn't have to do What I had to do was just be a little careful of not getting too much water quickly. So that's not jumping through hoops. But if I really have to jump through hoops and it takes forever, or it's really, really difficult and it just doesn't yield a satisfying result, I'm not going to like it. And so when something's like that and I've revisited 2 or 3 times, if it's still not working to my liking, I'm just gonna, it is what it is. I will move on, I just won't buy it. But fortunately with this one, that wasn't the case. I was able to make a really good lather pretty easily, just staying mindful of not adding too much water too quickly. And, it was no problem whatsoever. Again, it is pricey. It's not going to be for everyone. So, when we make these sort of videos with luxury products, we understand that. And even this razor, this is not an inexpensive razor. The titanium started at $225. It is made here in the USA. It is a phenomenal piece made in Ohio. Absolutely terrific. It's a lifetime sort of investment. It is a heirloom sort of piece. And so today when I'm using the sebum, I thought this is a great time to pull out, this was my style choice. This was my premium choice in the Magnificent 12 video. If you didn't see that, I'll pop it up in one of the corners there. Just a phenomenal razor. And the Persona blade on its 13th use is still crisp, smooth, cutting well. And this was just a really enjoyable shave. It was a luxury shave, I don't do a lot of these, but I will say this. For those of you who do luxury shaves, there's absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. I know folks get heat both ways. So if you use budget gear, then sometimes the premium people will have things to say. If you use high-end gear, then people will complain about that. And so my perspective is just let people be happy with what they're using. This is for fun. Allow people to enjoy their gear the way they want to. As I say, it's your shave. Do it your way, enjoy what you like. And as long as you're not crapping on anyone else who uses different type of gear, it's all good. All right, that was really a magnificent shave. Let me rinse and we'll come back and into the post and we'll try the skin serum or the serum, whatever it's called. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back. And normally we talk about witch hazel and alum and all that, but we're not doing any of that because this, we're going to use the the post-shave serum by Sebum Lime, which he did send this one to me for free, just in the interest of full disclosure. He wanted me to try it. He believes strongly in it. And I committed to using it without other products. And so here it is, nice packaging. Again, the labels are wood, really, really cool. And so I'm going to pull the cork stopper off, which I think, again, is a nice touch. And then the instructions call for using about a dime size on a dry face. And we have it here, and we will apply it. And I will say, I used this yesterday for a head shave. And then again, actually the night before at night, and also for a head shave. And when it first goes on, it's going to feel a little tacky. But when it dries down, I'm not gonna lie, it feels wonderful. I generally do not like products like this, but this has been a pleasant experience. Your skin feels sort of velvety, but not oily. I really don't like having oily skin, and this one does not make my skin oily, as some skin food aftershaves do. And so I have enjoyed using it. We'll continue to use it, and we'll let you know how it goes. All right, so it was a brilliant shave today. Sebum Gold. It is a really good luxury product. It's pricey, but it does hit that luxury level. I've enjoyed the serum, as we've talked about, and I used a turn and shave. I don't think I mentioned that. Timeless razor. And remember, people, remember, it's important to get it right, not be right. Humble yourself and apologize when need be, as I have today. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way. As always, God bless.